7 days on, Thoothukudi violence echoed in Tamil Nadu Assembly today as opposition parties up the ante, demanding a permanent shutdown of the Sterlite plant. Mirage of victory, is it the permanent closure or is it just for the time being a knee-jerk reaction while the copper smelter plant of Sterlite in Thoothukudi has been shut? The question remained whether the move was a knee-jerk reaction or a well-planned move. Announcement by the State Chief Minister E. Palaniswamy that the plant would be shut is likely to impact domestic supplies and create a temporary spurt in the domestic prices of copper. The Tamil Nadu government's decision to shut down Vedanta Limited copper plant at Thoothukudi, which accounts to 40% share in India's annual copper production of 10 lakh tons, could impact jobs of around 35,000 people. Well, joining me on the broadcast now is A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Muralidharan Shivalingam, AIDMK supporter, is also on the broadcast with us. K. Siddharth, environmentalist, is joining us from the studio here in Noida. Exactly what are the kind of environmental hazard does this plant cause? I have with me Mr. K. Siddharth. What studies have been done? Because a lot of people are making a lot of noise. Is it now a question of development versus environment? What are the exact studies which validate that there is, of course, a massive environmental damage that is being caused by the Sterlite plant?
There are many agencies who have done that. The most authentic agency in general would have been NERI, National Environmental Research Institute, something like CSE as well. Of course, this is a study that has not been done by them. But then individual studies by environmentalists in that region do go on to point out that the arsenic level is very high, that the air pollution is very high, that is ENT diseases have gone to become very high. The asthmatic disorders have gone on to increase in the last 10-15 years or so. And then you're going to be talking of women, that is the menstrual disorders have gone to become very, very high in those places. The fishes are going to be getting affected because of the fly ash in that region. The air pollution has gone to increase. And what is being done, what will be done because of this plant will be an irreversible environmental damage, which even 1,000 crores of rupees
No,
won't
but
be
you
able
also are saying that this has been, these are independent studies which have not been corroborated. It's not been done by a credible government agency so far. So my question to you, sir, is that are we creating too much hype as far as these damages is concerned? What are the measures? Because it's not that for this industries can be shut down. What are the measures that this government or the industry could have taken so that they could minimize this damage?
See, they could have taken all of these decisions, most of the decisions, to ameliorate the environmental conditions from 2003 onwards, when this issue was raised for the first time, and when a closure was issued by the then government at that point of time. See, when you have a problem of environmental damage, then you start taking steps like the treatment of the effluents, the treatment of the fly ash, the air treatment, of course, in this case, and how is it that you can go on to recycle the groundwater with control of it. This was the present condition is a complete knee-jerk reaction. It's all of a sudden you're going to wake up, you're going to ignite the passion of the people, and then you're going to wake up one of these days and say that I'm going to close this plant. Any type of a smelter is going to be causing such type of disaster, in the sense that is the sulfur content will go on to become very high. Right? It has to be. But then
but there are measures that can, of course, minimize the damage it can cause. But possibly it would only be known after a proper study is undertaken and the steps are taken by the government and the agency or the industry as well. I'm getting a breaking news. I'm getting a breaking news at this point of time. It's coming from Tamil Nadu itself. Well, the National Human Rights Commission team is going to leave for Thoothukudi. They have requested the Director General to depute a team of 3 officers to assist the NHRC team. District Administration has spent less than 7 crore out of the 100 crore deposited by Sterlite as penalty imposed by the Supreme Court in April 2013. With interest, the amount is in deposit has grown to 141 crore rupees. The district administration RTI response reveals that even the 7 crore was spent in violation of the Supreme Court order on issues unrelated to improving the environment of the vicinity of the plant. This, in fact, absolutely exposes successive governments in the state of Tamil Nadu. They just don't worry about the people. They don't worry about Siddharth. This is just symptomatic of the way the governments absolutely ignore even the Supreme Court's ruling. You can't
Agreed.
blame Sterlite for running a successful plant. They have deposited, they are saying we are adhering to everything that you ask us. We have given you 100 crores as penalty as well. They could not even implement it for better environment or better practices.
That's correct. Agreed. No dispute on that.
No,
part.
but does it also mean in a way that rather than making it an environment versus development debate, it could, if the governments wanted, they could have found a middle way?
See, governments always go on to play on the perception of the people and the way, how is it that they can manage the perception of the people. Maybe they had a vested interest in managing the perception of the people to ignite this passion, and this was one factor that was completely hidden. Now, a plant like that of Vedanta, which has to adhere to certain type of environmental norms, and they've been adhering to it by depositing money with the administration, that means they are adhering to this part.
Yes.
And they're going to say that, please take care of it, please take care of it. And had this amount been spent, then there would have been considerable amount of environmental amelioration that may have been required because of any prospective damage the environment may have been
Mr. Saravanan, the government case that wash its hand off the responsibility of what they have done. He's saying the money is safe, but that money was to be spent for better environmental practices.
It's like saying that a patient is dying and you keep a medicine and you say that we never gave it because you wanted to save the medicine. It's almost like that. So 100 crore rupees, whatever the amount may be, so you could have created an affluent plant in that place, treatment plant in that place. You could have always gone for marine cycling in that place. You could have always gone on to clean the air in that place by planting so many saplings in and around that area, right? It's a rice hub. It's a region through which one of these rivers goes into a flow. That is the only river that goes into originating flow in Tamil Nadu also, right? You have destroyed that river also, not by taking any action. You have not taken any action. So this was a money that was deposited essentially for the purpose of allowing you to initiate some action. Now, inaction is as good as a criminal part.
The government is only reacting for perception. They don't know what to do, and it seems that at least this AIDMK government just wants to go through their term, and that's all. That's priority number one. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on the broadcast. We can only hope that a long-lasting permanent solution could be found, because development and growth, environment and growth has to go hand in hand, not as enemies.